All right, guys, let's get started. And whoever jumps on board after that, they're welcome. So, on Wednesday nights, what we do cover is different DMOs, which is daily methods of operations, how to do it, and how to put it to action. So, what we're going to cover tonight is we're going to cover a roadshow. I'm going to do a training on roadshows. This is a concept that we actually learned, my wife and I actually learned when we were in Malaysia. It was a fairly new concept at the time. When we first came back to Australia, nobody knew about roadshows, and we started sharing with them what we were doing in Malaysia. So I encourage you to take good notes, obviously. If you have any questions, write it down, and probably at the end we can open it up for questions. So let's get started. So a roadshow, let's go into details about it. It's offering a service and giving people a solution. Okay, so what a roadshow is, if you don't know what it is, it's basically setting up a stand or a table at a shopping center. Hang on. Let me just go back in there. Okay. At a shopping center or an expo, or really anywhere that you're allowed to or can get a permit to do so. And it's offering people a free wellness evaluation and then sharing a little bit about our company and our products. So what we found with roadshows is that out of every 10 analysis that you actually do, you get on average about 1 to 2 good customers and about 5 to 10 referrals. The reason to do a roadshow is because obviously it works. And just like everything else in this business, it is a numbers game. So the more people you talk to, obviously you'll come across the quality of people that you need, and there's an abundance of quality people to talk to. Okay. Each distributor who does a roadshow knows exactly what to do. So it's very easy and duplicable. Apart from the tools of a roadshow, there's really no investment involved. You work with referrals, so it makes sponsoring very easy, and they join and have already their first customers. So their customers are logged into the system already, and we've got something to offer, obviously, for that. And we make a difference out there. So where else can people get this type of service? With the free wellness evaluation, normally to get a free wellness evaluation at a clinic is about $100, whereas we offer it as a free service. Okay, so what tools do you need to equip yourself to have a successful roadshow? You need to get yourself a Tanita scale, okay, which measures the body fat, muscle mass, and all the readings that we're going to go through tonight. You need a cloth and disinfectant so that you can keep the scale clean. Wellness analysis forms or surveys. Wellness passes with your contact data on it. Herbalife booth stand or banners, which you can get from our offices, or you can communicate with myself or Ali, as we are roadshow coordinators for Victoria. Okay. Forms and brochures from Herbalife, or you can print up your own. Some kind of pitch book or presentation book with testimonies and stories. You can, as an option, serve samples of shakes, herbal beverage, protein bars as samples. So it's only small portions, although I prefer not to do that at roadshows, especially here in Australia, because you probably need a permit to do so. Pen, time planner, so a diary of some kind, so you can make bookings with your clients. A bag so that you can fit all the documents and everything in, and some order forms and a clipboard folder. So here's what the concept is all about. The first thing is that you need to invite someone in for a free health scan. So you're going to give someone a service first, which is the free wellness evaluation. And from the wellness evaluation, the next step is to get referrals, okay? Before you start saying anything about the products or the costs, you want to get referrals first, because if you talk product and cost first, then you won't get as many referrals. And what this leads to is more free wellness evaluations with a semi-warm market, because these people have been referred to you by that prospect. And then you want to give the client the solution, which is obviously the Herbalife products. So this is how the flow chart runs. Basically, you give an invitation to an evaluation, to an explanation, to referrals, and then a presentation, and then you close the sale. This is the survey that you get people to fill in for their wellness evaluation scan. Now, what they actually fill in is the first half of that survey. And what I've found from experience is it's probably better that you fill in the survey yourself on behalf of the client, to ask them the questions and write the answers in your own handwriting, because some people, their handwriting's messy or you can't understand it, and then you'll take it home and you'll wonder, what the phone number is or what the name is or what have you. So it's sometimes better to fill in this survey yourself and just ask the questions. So if you look at the survey, it's pretty straightforward. The person's name, email address, phone number, address, postcode. How would you describe your lifestyle? Are they active? Not enough exercise? No exercise? Do they consider their weight ideal? Yes or no? Do they suffer lack of energy? Yes or no? Do they have any health issues such as diabetes, cholesterol? If they do, specify what kind. Would they like to solve these problems by natural means? Yes or no? How much weight would they like to lose or gain? And what's the reason for it? Okay. The reason for it is your hot button, so that you can always refer back to it when someone says, I don't know if I really want to lose weight. And you say, hang on here. You said that you want to lose weight because you're getting married in 3 months' time, or whatever the case might be. So you can use it as your hot button. Would you like to learn about Herbalife's health program? Yes or no? And the most suitable time for you to contact them. What they normally eat and drink for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then you get their age, height, hours of exercise per week, and their date of birth. Everything below the date of birth line is basically information that you'll get from the scale, other than the referrals at the end of that page, which you'll ask for before you talk about our products. Okay, so what's the process? The first thing is, while the survey is being filled in, always smile and be very friendly. Okay, and ask some questions. What brings you here today? You're doing, your grocery shopping. You just having a day off work, whatever the case might be. So ask some questions, build a bit of a rapport and a relationship by just having a little chat first. And listen very closely as you're talking to them and asking them the questions on the survey, okay? Because they might say, I've put on all this weight over the last 3 years, been snacking a lot and all this kind of stuff. And, this is all things that you can relate back to in your closing pitch of when you're talking about the products. And then what you do is you take them to the scanner, you ask the prospect to remove their shoes and their socks. Once, what I normally do is before I get them to stand on the scale is I actually spray the scale with disinfectant so they can actually see that we're being very hygienic. So I spray it before they get on and even after they get on so they can see how hygienic we are, okay? So I get them to stand on the scale, and then once the scan has done its test, I record the results down and tell the prospect that they're going to get a copy of these results, okay? I get them to get off the scale, put their socks and shoes back on, and while they're doing that, I spray the scale again in front of them and clean it up, okay? Then I explain to the prospect how much weight they need to lose. And I show them what we call a height versus weight chart, okay, which you'll have in your member packs, and you'll also have in your programs. There's normally a booklet in there that shows height versus weight, okay? If you don't have that, no problem. You can actually calculate it very quickly. And there's a simple formula for doing this if you want to write it down. Basically, for a male, let's use 180 centimeters as an example of height, okay? You just minus 100 from that 180, which means how many kilos they should be roughly. So if you take 180 minus 100, they should be around the 80 kilo mark or up to 5 kilos less. So 75 to 80 kilos. For a female, you take their height, you minus 100, minus another 10%. So example, 180 centimeters minus 100 is 80, minus 10%, which is another 8 off that. So they should be around the 72 kilos or up to 5 kilos less than that as well. So between 65 and 72. Okay, pretty straightforward formula to help you do it without a height versus weight charts. Okay, so now we start explaining, after we've explained how much weight they need to lose, we start explaining different readings from the scale. And the first one is their body fat index, okay? This is on the wellness evaluation pass. If you look on the left, you'll see the women, and on the right is the man, okay? You look at their age category in the middle section. So let's say, for example, we've got a woman who's between 35 to 39 years old, okay? So that's about 4 rows down from the top, and on the left-hand side. For a woman to be in the right body fat category, she should be between 21.1% to 24% of body fat, okay? If she's anything more than that, she's going to be between medium and bad, okay? What this means, it doesn't mean they're fat. It means that they have very high body fat in their body, which normally comes from too many carbs, so bread, pasta, noodles, potatoes, sugars. It comes from the wrong cooking oil, salts. All these things contribute to a high body fat, okay? If their body fat is high, they're at risk of cholesterol. So what you want to do is really work with them to lower their body fat so that they don't get cholesterol down the track, okay? Now, you'll notice there's a line there that says for sports people measured in the athletic mode with a minimum training from 8 to 10 hours a week. So when you were asking the questions back on the survey, it said how many hours a week do you do exercise? If they're more than 8 to 10 hours a week, you need to put it on the sports mode on the scale. You can't just use a regular mode. because they have a different muscle content in their body. Okay? So, as you can see, an example of the woman's body fat is on the left side, the health risk, and the right is the normal. Okay? So, let's keep moving forward. The next category is the amount of water in their body. If you look at that small table in the right-hand side, which is also on the wellness pass that you'll give the client, okay? If it's a female, they need a minimum of 50 to 55% of water per day in their body, okay? For a man, it needs to be at least 60 to 65, and for children, it should be at least 65 plus, okay? Why is water so important? Well, our brain consists of 90% water, okay? Water helps our metabolism, it regulates body temperature, protects our organs. Bone consists of 22% water, protects and moisturizes our joints. It moisturizes the air in our lungs. It helps our organs to absorb nutrients better, transport nutrients and oxygen into our cells. Blood consists of 83% water, okay? Look at that. That's how important is water for your body. It detoxifies. Your muscle consists of 75% water. And here's what will happen if people do not drink enough water. They'll feel tired, they'll get migraines, constipated, muscle cramps, irregular blood pressure, kidney problems, dry skin, and anything less than 20% is actually a risk of death, okay? So water is a crucial part of life, not only with Herbalife, but life in general. The general rule is for every 25 kilos someone weighs, they need 1 liter of water. So if they weigh 75 kilos, they need a minimum of 3 liters of water a day. And if they exercise, they need even more water because when they exercise, they've got fluid coming out of their body, so they need to put fluid back in their body, okay? So as you can see up the top, it says we lose an average of 1.7 liters of water every day through breathing, sweating, and detoxification. So once you've explained the water reading, you then explain the muscle index and physique rating reading, okay? So the muscle index will be a certain amount of muscle weight. So for example, could be 41 kilos, 42 kilos, whatever it is. There's no right or wrong with that. Just the higher the muscle mass, the better, because it speeds up your metabolism and helps you lose weight more effectively, okay? What we do look at is the physique rating. And we know between 1 to 4 is obese or untrained, 5 is pretty normal, and anybody 6 to 9 is either optimal or sporty or even underweight, okay? So if it's 1 to 4, it doesn't mean they're physically obese. What it actually means is they have high body fat and about the same amount of muscle mass, okay? What we need to do is increase their muscle mass more so that their body fat can come down. So we want it to reverse the body fat. So the more muscle they have, the less body fat they'll have, okay? So how can they get more muscle? I always say you can use more protein in your diet, okay? So more chicken, fish, meat, although red meat has high saturated fats. So if they're eating red meats, they want to be eating it during the day, not at night, because your body has to work very hard to break down that fat from the meat, okay? So we want them to increase their protein intake. Also, soy and tofu has protein and other sources, but we always refer them back to obviously our Herbalife protein powder, okay? So let's move on. The next category is how much calories they can eat or how much they're burning on a daily basis. It's what we call the basal metabolic resting rate, okay? Most females should be around 12 to 1500 calories per day they're burning, and most men is somewhere between 1500 to 1800, 2000, okay? The higher the basal metabolic resting rate is, the better it is, because it means they've got a fast metabolism, which means they're burning more fat. Therefore, the chances of them putting more weight on is a lot less, okay? The reason we know and guarantee that Herbalife works for absolutely everybody who uses the product correctly is because we know a shake is somewhere between 90 to 250 calories per serving, depending on what you mix it with. So if we work on the worst case scenario of 250 calories per shake, 2 shakes a day is 500, and an average meal, solid meal, is roughly around 600 or 700 calories, which means a person is ingesting about 1,300 calories a day, and their metabolic resting rate should be a lot faster than that anyway. So they should be losing weight guaranteed, okay? The next category is the basal metabolic age, okay? This is what the age of their body is functioning like on the inside of their body, okay? I'll give you an example. I did a scan for someone today, and she's 36 years old, but her body on the inside is functioning like a 60-year-old, okay? Now, this is a big problem. Reason it's a problem is as we get older, naturally our metabolism slows down. And if there's already a big gap between now and your real age, and then what we want to do is reverse that quickly so that as you get older, there's not so much of a gap between that and your real age anymore, okay? And what happens is the longer that people are on the Herbalife products, these numbers actually start to improve. And so you normally give people this wellness evaluation scan as a customer once a month for accurate readings, okay? So you'll scan them once a month so they can see the true progress and what the products have actually done for their body. The next category is the bone mass, and this is actually the weight of the bones in the body, okay? So if we actually got rid of our flesh and, you know, all the organs and blood and everything else that's inside us and just weighed our skeletal system, it would have a certain amount of kilo weight, okay? And so as you can see in the yellow, it's for the women. You take the person's weight. So for example, if the woman is between 50 to 75 kilos, the bone mass should be around 2.4 kilos. If it's slightly less or slightly more, it doesn't really matter. There's not too much you can do with this one at this certain age when you're dealing with people. So most of the people you'll be scanning will be 18 years and above, okay? The only time you can really help the bone mass is when we're young as children. You give the child more calcium, more milk, etc., to help increase the bone mass. The only way we can help people with bone mass with our products at the moment is provide extra cal, which is to help with the bone mass, okay? As you can see, there's a danger of having osteoporosis for half the women, and so 1 in 2 women get osteoporosis, and 1 in 5 men actually get osteoporosis too, okay? So what's good for your bones is calcium, exercise, vitamin C, D, and K, and magnesium. The things they need to avoid that will affect their bone mass is nicotine, alcohol, too much cola, caffeine, yo-yo dieting, or steroids. And the last reading on the scale or on the wellness pass is visceral fat. Now, this is the one that we get the most concerned about because it's the highest risk factor, okay? So it's basically the bad fat around your vital organs like your heart, your liver, your kidneys. It can cause stroke, liver disease, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol. So you are at very high risk if you have a visceral fat. How I explain it to people is I say to them, it's a bit like when you watch those documentaries and someone's doing a heart operation and you see all that white blubber stuff around the heart. That's basically the visceral fat, okay, which can cause the heart attacks, etc. So from the reading, if they're between the number 1 to 4, it's good. If they're between 5 to 8, it's medium. If it's 9 to 12, it's bad. And if it's anything more than 13, it's alarming or alerting, okay? So, you really need to do your best to get people on our products if they're anything above number 9 especially, okay? So that's what the visceral fat means. Okay. Now, once you've explained all this information to the client, you ask them a simple question. Did you enjoy the information that was shared with you today? And they're going to say, yeah, that was quite interesting, or whatever the case might be. You say, great, thank you. Now, can you do me a favor? Can you please rate me and let me know who you think will also like a similar free wellness evaluation like what I've just given you here today? And this is the point where you should get the referrals from these people before you go any further to what the solution is. So some people say, I don't really know who might be interested, and say, have you got your mobile phone with you? Can you just have a quick look and see who might be interested in getting a free wellness evaluation? Okay. And, what Ali and I used to do is we used to do a home visit. And even today I did a home visit. So this is actually something you can offer as a service to provide to people to give them a free wellness evaluation. Will you get a sale every time? Possibly not. But there's a good chance that once you've read these results with people, that you can always get them started on something, even if it's a couple of cans of shake, okay? Then you start talking about the solution with that prospect, once you've got those referrals. So you say to them, hey, customer, I'm going to show you how you can improve or change your body. We have a solution. Have you actually heard about Herbalife before? And state some of the facts. Now, don't go into too much detail because they don't really need to know that much detail about our company, okay? So just state some of the facts that are really important, like our company's been around for 36 years. We're the number 1 weight management company in the world with over 100 million customers using our products every single day right around the world. There's no need to talk about we're listed on the New York Stock Exchange and did $7.8 billion last year. And, we have a CEO, Michael O. Johnson. All that stuff is irrelevant for this topic, okay? They just need to know the strength of the company, by how long it's been in business, how many customers have got results, and we're in 94 countries, which means our products is approved in 94 different countries, okay? Share some of the testimonies. So that's where you have the before and after photos, and you get them to look at these photos. And while they're looking at the photos, say, you have a look at these while I write down your results on your wellness pass for you so you can take home a copy. And that's where you fill in this wellness pass. And this is what it looks like on the front and the back page. So that's the front and back, okay? You put the date, you put their name, you put your personal details under your personal wellness coach, okay? And on the inside of the pass, you fill in their details. So their age on the left-hand side there, you can see it, their height, their kilos. Where it says your next appointment date, you put that first row is the date you did the scan, and then it'll be 1 month from that, okay? Their body fat, their percentage water, muscle mass, physique rating, BMR, basal metabolic age, bone mass, and visceral fat. Everything that we just spoke about. And as you can see, there's the chart on the right-hand side of everything that we just explained. Okay? So Herbalife obviously delivers results, and then you start talking about the programs. Okay? Now, this is an old price list, but it just gives you an idea of the programs sheet, which I will put up on the website, actually, the program sheet, so that you can download and print it and use it for your customers, okay? So we talk about the 4 different programs, which is a healthy breakfast shape-up program, a real basic program, which works out to about $3.50 per meal. And you explain to them they're actually going to be replacing 2 meals a day. So one of the things I do before I actually show them this is I ask them, how much are you currently spending on food per day? Okay. And most people tell me that they spend between $10 to $20 a day, which means they spend between $300 to $600 a month on things that are making them tired, overweight, and unhealthy. Our products actually work out cheaper than food because, as you can see, a basic program's around the $200 mark, the quick start's around the $300 mark, the advanced is around the $400 mark, and the ultimate is nearly $500, okay? So people actually find that they're saving money on the Herbalife products compared to real food. And that's what makes it an easy sale to your clients, because you show them how much money they can save and how much better they're going to feel by using the Herbalife products, okay? So, and always choose a program that's going to suit their budget. Then you might arrange a follow-up with your prospect, or if they'd like to start a program, arrange a time and location to deliver the program. Now, as part of the Roadshow rules right around the world, you're not actually allowed to physically sell the product on the spot. But what you can do is you can take payment or a deposit on the spot and then organize to meet that prospect either at the coffee shop that's 100 meters away from your booth. As silly as it sounds, that's what you can actually do, is sit with them at the coffee shop or around the corner from your roadshow and actually explain the products and get them started and collect the money. So, or you can even take them out to your car and give them the products from your boot and take the cash. However you want to do it is fine, but it's not allowed to be physically done at the roadshow itself. Okay? Then you want to make sure that you're building your own story. Okay? So, when you're sharing with people what happened to you, you want to be very good with your testimony. Because what Herbalife distributors are overpaid storytellers, okay? That's all we do. We share our story and other people's story. So learn how to tell your story. Keep it short and to the point. Make sure it's clear, true, and authentic. Don't exaggerate your results. So if it's unnecessary to say, it's necessary not to say it. Okay? It's not what you say, it's really how you feel about what you say that matters. Okay? So have a lot of enthusiasm and excitement in your testimony because that's what's going to attract the client to get started on your products. And then from a product user to a business builder, if you look after your clients well enough, some of them will become some of your best business builders or distributors in your business. Okay? So good follow-up is absolutely crucial. It's going to lead to more referrals. It's going to offer you the chance to work with them. You can bring them to HOMs, weight loss challenges, nutrition clubs, fit camps, etc., etc. And obviously, without saying, teamwork makes the dream work. You know, always have a great attitude. You know, always talk positive. Be ethical at all times. Don't do the wrong thing by the customer or your colleagues at the roadshow. If someone at a roadshow got your colleague's flyer, who also did a roadshow earlier in the day, for example, you say, no problem, I'll get that person to give you a call back, or I can do the scan for you. And if you are interested in get started, you need to get back to that individual who gave you the flyer and their names on the flyer. So be ethical at all times. Help each other out and tell your testimony. So share your testimonies. It's better to do a roadshow with someone so you're not by yourself. It helps lift your energy and helps lift their energy. You know, for example, if I was doing a roadshow with Marco and I scanned a client of mine and I say, hey, Marco, can you please share your product results with this prospect? And Marco says, yeah, unbelievable. I got on these products. I lost 30 odd kilos, whatever the case might be. And it could be Marco's testimony that helps me get that client. Okay. Make sure you share your before and after photos so people see that you physically got some kind of result on the products. And always work on getting a better product result yourself so you can have a new testimony. And what's most important is you need to have fun. Because if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. Okay? This business is all about having fun. So whatever methods you're doing in Herbalife, make sure you're having fun doing it. So here's a couple of photos of different roadshows that we've done around different parts of the world. This one was in Doncaster Shopping Centre many years ago, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I think it was. I think it actually says on the photo there, 2010. So, you know, that's back in 2010. We had a booth, a couple of banners, get people to have a free wellness evaluation, explain, etc. Okay. This is one that we did in an expo in Malaysia. Okay. So again, it can be done absolutely everywhere and anywhere. And this is another one we did in a different part of Malaysia. Okay, in shopping mall. Okay. So really you can do this absolutely anywhere. And as you can see, it's fun, simple, and magical to do. Okay. So guys, that's pretty much it for the presentation this evening. I'm just going to open up the call really quickly for questions. Has anybody got any questions about roadshows?
Roger, I've got a few.
Okay, go for it, Marco.
One, are we allowed to make sample shakes for people to try?
Yes. So as you saw from the presentation, it is optional to do that. You can make samples of shakes, herbal beverage, and serve even pieces of protein bar if you want to sample that stuff. What I found personally is that gets a little messy, and that's why personally I don't like to do that anymore at roadshows.
Okay. The other one, do you need any sort of like insurances or anything like that to do the scans? Yes,
absolutely. So as Herbalife members, everybody should really have public indemnity insurance. Okay. It covers you for something like $10 or $20 million. There is a company that Herbalife actually recommends that they've negotiated with. I think it costs about $200 a year to have the insurance policy. Okay. The reason you really want to make sure you've got this public indemnity insurance is if someone falls off the scale, for example, and breaks a leg or injures themselves or whatever, at least you are covered.
Cool.
Can I say something? Am I muted?
Sorry?
Am I muted? Unmuted? Can you hear me?
You're unmuted, yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were asking something.
Yeah, about the roadshow, if I can say, because, what happened with Herbalife, normally we are not, I think they've changed that, not meant to sample stuff. We can't even display. I mean, if you do a roadshow, then you shouldn't promote that on Facebook, otherwise might get some issues.
Sorry, I don't understand the question. What's the question, Salia?
No, it's not the question. It's just with what Marco asked. If you're allowed to sample.
About the sampling.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can sample. There's no rule against it. It is in the roadshow guidelines that you can. But again, guys, you really want to keep it really simple because you don't want to be worried about blending shakes, and you can't have pre-made shakes because then it goes watery and doesn't taste good after a couple of hours, things like that. So you better not to sample is my recommendation. Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, I have a question. Some questions. First of all, you started before. I was not seeing when you started. Like I missed a few things. Like how much is the scale cost?
The scale, great question. The scale is a brand called Tanita. If you want to write that down, the head office for Tanita company is in Perth. So you can get their phone number. It's actually on the My Herbalife website. You can get the details of that company. What you need to do is when you ring that company, you need to mention you're a Herbalife distributor because we have a special price on these scales because Herbalife recommends a lot of distributors to this company. Okay? So we actually get 50% off of the retail value on the scale. So a scale like what we just showed on our presentation tonight, or as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner of that picture, you can see two scales. They normally retail for about $300-400. So as a Herbalife distributor, they cost you about anywhere between, you can get cheaper versions from $100 to $200. Depends which model you buy.
Okay. The other question is, I saw this information which are on the scale. Yeah. It's like, how can I get them, or where can I get those papers which explain like what you are showing us on the system?
Yeah. I will put up those documents on our Game Changing Squad website. So the gamechangingsquad.yolasite.com.
So I can be going there and download them, or?
Yeah, you will be when I put them up by tomorrow.
Okay, and also those forms to fill out, are they going to be there, or yes. Like when you?
I will put everything relevant to how to do a roadshow up on that website. So I'll put the documents so you can download and print them. I'll put the price list, the order forms, how to explain all those categories that we went through tonight. I'll upload everything related to roadshows on the website for you guys.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Any other questions, guys? Okay, so if you're doing this in shopping centers or places like that, obviously to set up in a shopping center it costs some kind of money. it's a good idea to get a handful of distributors together to break down the cost. For example, like when we did Doncaster Shopping Centre, if I recall, it was about probably about $1,500 for a whole week. Okay, so what we did is we broke it down in shifts, and basically what we did is we had at least 2 to 3 people per shift. So if it was an 8-hour shift, we'd have 2 shifts worth of 2 to 3 people. So it'll be between 4 to 6 people a day. Okay. And then with late night shopping days, it might be 4 shifts because it's such a long day. Okay. And so we take the amount of people divided by the shifts. So if it was $1,500, for example, and it was 20 people working for the whole week, that's $70 a shift or whatever it is, $75. So the whole idea, guys, is not so much to make the sale on the spot. If you can, great. But if you can't, the main thing is you do as many of those surveys as possible so that when you go home, the next day or two, you ring those people that filled in the surveys and did the scan and ring them up and say, hi, this is Roger. You had a free wellness evaluation with us at this shopping mall yesterday or the day before. You indicated here that you're serious about wanting to lose weight. Are you serious about wanting to do something about that? Okay. And then try and make the sale then and there over the phone. Okay. So really the whole idea is to get as many people as possible to do free wellness evaluations on the daily basis that you do it. Okay. Another thing you can actually do with this tool, guys, is if you're confident enough to go door knocking, you can actually take this scale in a trolley bag with you with some Herbalife products, and you can offer people a free wellness evaluation right in front of their house. You don't even have to go inside their house. Okay. So it's another tool you can actually use to get people to have a free wellness evaluation. Okay. Any other questions? No questions? Sally there, she was making a bit of noise. So I've muted you. So anybody else got any questions before we wrap it up? No? Okay, awesome. So guys, this is recorded again. I will put up all the documentation and obviously this video to watch again if you want to watch it again, or if you missed anything, you can go back and listen to it and play it backwards and forwards as many times as you like. So well done for being on tonight's call. Again, it's another daily method of operation you can add to your business. It doesn't need to replace anything you're currently doing. So do it over and above what you're currently doing. Don't replace what you're doing, at least for 90 days. And again, like everything we teach you, you must be consistent for 90 days with whatever DMOs you choose so that you can see the true results from that method. Okay. Then after 90 days, you can review whether you should keep doing that method or replace it with another method. Okay. So having said that, guys, thank you for your time. Have a great evening, and we will see you all tomorrow night for the product training that will be happening on line as well. So make sure you get your customers and prospects onto that so that we can help you build your business. Have a good night, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.
Good night.